Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Jaspreet Kaur and I teach anthropology. Today we will study the module Tribe Caste Continuum from the paper Indian Anthropology. The learning objectives of this module: to understand the term tribe, to understand the term caste, to understand their meaning in Indian context, and to understand what is tribe caste continuum. Now, the word traces its origin from the Latin word tribus, used to denote the three groups of ancient Romans. In today's context, tribe can be defined as any group of people living together for a period of time, sharing common history, common territory, and a common lifestyle. These people usually have their own socio-political organization and are excluded from the state. Now, state here means the civilization. In ancient world, when people moved to civilizations and non-productive modes of subsistence, some people were required to stay at the periphery or near the forest in order to obtain forest produce, especially honey. While some groups voluntarily refused to be included in the state. These people formed groups which are known as tribes today. So, historically, people excluded from the rule of civilization, whether voluntarily or involuntarily, came to be known as tribes. Lewis H. Morgan hypothesized tribe as a transient stage in the process of cultural evolution from early hunters and foragers to agrarian societies. Later, Lewis introduced the concept of scale in characterizing a tribe. He contended that ideally tribal societies are small in scale and are restricted in the spatial and temporal range of their social, legal, and political relations, and possesses a morality, religion, and worldview of corresponding dimensions. Characteristics of tribes. Now, the usage of the word tribe itself in today's time is ambiguous, as many tribal societies do not fit the traditional definition. But still, most of them have these basic characteristics, which we'll discuss one by one. They are politically autonomous, although most of them have now been included in the state, but they still practice some degree of autonomy in terms of social rules and imposing punishments. The people of a tribe share a common territory. They have a common culture. Now, culture here includes their system of beliefs, rules, norms, mores, ethics, etc. They have a common religion. That is, they worship a common god which might be or might not be same as the popular religion or gods. A tribe is an endogamous group, which means they marry within themselves. A tribe is usually divided into two moieties or many phratries. These moieties and phratries are connected through a story of a common but not consanguine origin and form intermarrying groups. The members of a tribe speak a common language or dialect, and tribes are generally egalitarian and no ascriptive hierarchy is found among them. Now let's define caste. Caste has been derived from a Portuguese term castas or casta, literally meaning race or lineage. Now the Portuguese used this term to denote the Indian social stratification system. A. L. Kroeber defined caste as an endogamous and hereditary subdivision of an ethnic unit occupying a position of superior or inferior rank or social esteem in comparison with other such subdivisions. So we can say in easy terms, caste can be defined as a system of social stratification, the membership of which is ascribed by birth. The system of caste stratification is found in India in its most developed form and is also found in other communities of South Asia. A caste is not an isolated group, rather it forms a part of society. Hence, caste is a form of social grouping within a society. There are following basic characteristics which define a caste. What are these? Let's have a look at them. It is a part of larger society and thus has no individual existence. A caste usually forms an endogamous group. The people of caste marry within themselves, and exogamous marriage is usually abhorred. They have a distinct set of cultural norms. The membership in a caste is ascribed by birth only, which means that a person is born in his or her caste and there is no way he or she can change it during his or her lifetime. Let's discuss the Indian scenario. Tribe, which is an Indian context, are vastly different from other countries. Here, the tribes have never been completely isolated. They had links with the neighboring communities. Now, these links were varied in nature. For example, a tribe often exchanges forest products for crops such as wheat, rice, or maize. During lean season, people from tribe also work in the nearby areas as laborers. Tribal women were often seen in the caste villages of Rajasthan selling toys for children. Earlier they bartered goods in return for clothes, but today they usually accept money. Similarly, their men are seen selling medicines, honey, and charms. With time, they have also been incorporated in the village hierarchical system. The religion of tribal people has also interacted with the popular religion and has given rise to new phenomena and practices. It has often been noticed that tribal take up practices of the neighboring dominant communities. The Oraons, say for example, believe that the entire universe is regulated by a superpower known as Dharmesh, the representation of which are the earth, which is known as Dharti in Hindi, the moon, Chand, and the sun, which is called as Bin. And therefore, the veneration of these natural things is supreme in their worship system. At the same time, they revere Mahadeo Bhagat, a form of the Hindu Sanskritic god Shiva and the monkey god Hanuman. The Oraon, on the other hand, think that Hanuman's native village is Anjani in the district of Gumla. On ritual occasions, they carry a flag in his honor. For them, their own religion and Hinduism can coexist without any contradictions. It has also been reported that on the day of Diwali, which is the festival of lights, the Oraon carry out the worship of the fowl, which is their indigenous practice, along with the lighting of lamps. Other than that, many tribal converted to Christianity during the British regime. Some common examples are the Khasis, Mizos, Nagas, and other hill tribes. One more type of religious exchange is tribalization. The term denotes taking up of tribal practices by other communities. In this context, two examples which are worth noticing. The first is the concept of Gram Devta or village deity. In Hindu religion, there is no reference of such concept of village protector or Gram Devta. But tribals have always revered to their deity by the foundations of their territory. The neighboring people also seem to have taken up the tradition. The second example is the importance of tribal priests in the coronation of Rajput kings of Rajasthan. The tribes in India have never been completely isolated. They have been in constant interaction with the mainland population. Now, this interaction has affected both sides and thus given rise to some unique characteristics to the Indian society. In some places, tribals have assimilated to a great extent in the caste society, thus forming their part. In India, the caste system is very typical. Since the term does not have an Indian origin, it is hard to find Indian equivalent of the term. Some authors believe that caste system represents Varna system, while some equate it to Jati system. Let's discuss the Varna system. It is a theoretical model of the stratification of the Indian society. Now, according to this model, there are four varnas into which the Indian society is divided on the basis of occupation and relative purity. These were Brahmin. Brahmin forms the highest in the caste hierarchy. They are the intellectuals and were supposed to live their life with bare necessities. The purpose of life is to collect knowledge, and they presided over the religious ceremonies and rituals of the people. The Kshatriyas, their status is somewhat lower than that of the Brahmins. They are the protectors and rulers and are supposed to look after the well-being of others. A Kshatriya's duty is to serve his life protecting others. The next in the hierarchical system is the Vaishyas. They were the merchants, traders, businessmen, and their purpose was to accumulate wealth. Hence, their status was lower than that of the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. Now, the lowest in the caste hierarchy were the Shudras, and their purpose was to serve the other Varnas. There was one more group called as the Dalits, which were excluded from this system. They were considered to be highly impure group, and the services provided to other people by others were not extended to them. This is a highly static model and does not work in real life. Let's discuss the Jati system. Jati is the actual grouping of people based on their profession or traditional occupation. Say for example, barberers, carpenters, etc. The name Jati is based on this occupation only, whether the people of Jati follow that profession anymore or not. Now there are more than 3,000 Jatis in India. A Jati is identified in a local setting by whom its member will accept food and water from and to which Jatis its member will give food and water. People will try to marry their sons and daughters to members of their same Jati and will give their major loyalty to their Jati. Now, a Jati's position is dynamic. It may vary from place to place. A Jati considered lower in one area may be considered higher in social strata in another area. Also, the relative position of Jati can be exchanged within time. The Jati moves up the social scale as a group and not as an individual. A Jati can improve its position in the class system by advancing economically and emulating the other social groups with money and power. However, at the same time, a Jati can also move up in the caste hierarchy. This mobility in the caste system is termed as Sanskritization by the famous scholar M.N. Srinivas. So we see while Varna is the blueprint of the social hierarchy, Jati is the actual grouping of the people. So we can equate caste with Jati system in India. Also, one more thing to be mentioned here is that caste is not only a Hindu phenomenon, it is found among people of other caste as well. For example, Christians of Kerala, Muslims of West Bengal, also other religions like Buddhism and Sikhism have been officially observed as having caste system in them. Now let's discuss the tribe caste continuum. India is unique in terms of its cultural characteristics. The concept of tribe in India is very different from the concept of tribes in Americas. Their tribes are isolated communities having a world within themselves, but in India, tribes have never been fully separate since the very beginning. There has always been a constant interaction between the tribal people and the civilization. This has led to diminishing of the boundaries between both the populations. Sometimes tribes are so immersed in the structure of society that it is hard to differentiate between tribe and a caste. Anthropologists have differed on the question relating to tribe and caste. According to Ghurye, tribal people are backward Hindus, differing only in degrees from the other segments of Hindu society. This is because many tribes have been seen following Hindu religious practices in their very crude form. According to N.K. Bose, there are many similarities in customs between tribe and caste, and they are interdependent. Marriage within the clan is forbidden both in tribes as well as in the caste. Both generally don't encourage marriage outside the group, and also both tend to maintain their group identity. But there are a few obvious points of differences between the both. Max Weber writes in Social Structure that when an Indian tribe loses its territorial significance, it assumes the form of an Indian caste. In this way, the tribe is a local group, whereas caste is a social group. According to D.N. Majumdar, the tribe looks upon Hindu ritualism as foreign and extra religious, even though indulging in it and in the worship of god and goddesses, whereas in the caste they are necessary part of the religion. In caste, individuals generally pursue their own definite occupations because functions are divided under the caste system. In the tribe, individuals can indulge in whatever profession they prefer as there is no fixed relation between them and occupation. Members of a same tribe have to pursue different occupations because they are a society within themselves. These point of differences and similarities between caste and tribe have led to the confusion about definition of the terms. Also, there were some populations which fulfill the criteria for both the terms. It is believed that tribes are autochthonous, culturally isolated groups with a distinctive language and a religion. However, the plain tribals like the Munda and the Orao of Bihar, the Kachari of Assam and the Gond in certain parts of Madhya Pradesh are regarded as tribals, although they live in interspersed with Hindu population. Many of the tribals now speak the regional language and do not have a distinctive language of their own. Sometimes one tribe may speak different languages in different regions. The Bhil in Rajasthan speaks Hindi and the Bhil of Gujarat speaks Gujarati. Also, in some areas of India, some caste occupies certain villages or a whole area and are a society within themselves. All the strata of the society are occupied by a single caste only, similar to that of a tribe.